So I gotta finish the job I started last fall. And that was digging down the heating hoses for the heating system in the garage. So the garage I'm having is using the lake to heat itself. I can get more into the system later on, but what I gotta start with is I gotta finish this, restoring the area here and getting the hoses down, because the hoses are visible as it is right now. The winter came shockingly last season, so I had to stop and wait now for it to dry up and the water to sink again. So the water is really low now, so I'm gonna cover these hoses up, and then I'm gonna go out with the boat diving, seeing how the hose is laying in the actual lake there. So yeah, then I gotta clean this entire area. Here you can see the hoses going. So it's 4 hoses that goes here. This one is not really, you see it's just floating here. Gonna try getting it down. It's kind of clayey here, so I see another hose is going. So it's really like mushy, wet stuff underneath here, so I just feel when I walk on the hose it's really sinking down. Kind of hard seeing though, since, well, and the horseflies sure want to join too. I gotta need to come a little bit more out so I can get everything here, because I also got a pile here I want to try and reach, and I can just reach the beginning of that. So I need to come a little bit more. So if one of these breaks with too much weight on it, I mean, it's probably gonna crack in the middle there, possibly damage the hose. So I don't really want to be too brave here, but I still need to come a little bit more out. Let's see, we're gonna try to solve this somehow without breaking stuff. I'm happy with this. This is gonna look real nice in a while. So now when the rain weather is coming in, it's gonna be water above this. It's kind of gonna smooth itself out there, so, and it's gonna start growing kind of fast, I think. So this is gonna look untouched in a while. So let's go out, take a swim. So I gotta dive after the hose there. Then we're gonna start cleaning up here. I'm gonna put on the grapple. Kind of a lot to do here. Okay, so the hoses should come out, yeah, around here, I think. You see anything? Yeah, look what I just saw. So that's the hose. It hasn't sunken completely here. That's kind of not good, driving around with the motor. Driving over that is a bad thing. I don't know why it hasn't sunken. In the theory, this should sink without any weight, just that it's filled with the liquid, but well, it doesn't seem to do that. So this is something we really need to fix. Still got some weights. I'm gonna go and get them. Size tighten and rope here. Best thing I had. Leave that floating while we go back getting some weight for this. You see it's going down there. It's kind of just coming up like a bow here. So to give a little context on this, we can see the system here. Yeah, so this is the actual system. We can get in more about that later. But these are the hoses. So there's two separate hoses. Each are 400 meters. So this is one and this is the other. This is going out to the lake there, turning around and coming back in again. Same for this. Getting into the machine. and getting turned into heat. That heats the garage. Let's see the effectiveness of this. If you look at energy, total, yeah, you can see. So it's 7.0. So if I put in 1 kilowatts of energy from the grid, I'm getting out 7 kilowatts of heat to the garage here. So it's not completely just a bad thing that the hose actually is kind of floating up there. I also saw on some of the places, you can see it was not completely at the bottom. It was floating a little bit above the bottom. So what I've got to do now, I gotta find my weights, throw them on the hose there, and hopefully I gotta get everything laying straight at the bottom. So the value I already got, and I mean I put in 1 kilowatts, I get out 7 kilowatts. I think I can raise that, since things haven't been optimal. When I measured this winter, just under the ice, the water is around 2 degrees Celsius. But if you do get the thermometer down the bottom, I would get out around 4 to 5 degrees Celsius. So I think this winter I'm gonna optimize. Oh, look at plane. Just silently flying over there. Let's go from Oslo to Kirkenes. So yeah, let's go throw on some weights there. It's gonna be really interesting this winter seeing the actual result of this system when I got everything properly installed. I don't know why it is. It's just something fascinating with a plane flying over like that. I mean, someone is just sitting there drinking coffee right now, having no idea there's a guy messing around with some geothermal heat right now in the lake. I'm gonna bring some yards here. I'm gonna mark it up, get some string, and I did find some weights I had that I never used. So going down to the bottom. Seems to be kind of deep here. Okay, so I've been following the hose. I've marked it. So I did another marking there. So there's two marking where the hose is going. And the hose is coming like that, and here it's turning around. And coming here, and then it's going back. So just gonna mark it here also. Okay, so we can see there's a bottle, and there's, and there. I don't know where that bottle went. I mean, I did put a bottle where the hose is actually turning out there. Oh, it seems to escape. Well, let's not bother about that. So I kind of regret I didn't buy one of those diving tubes with air. You can breathe like 10 minutes underwater. Kind of too late now, the shipping, probably like 3 weeks or something like that. But I do have my wetsuit I'm gonna wear, even though it's kind of hot outside. Being down in the water for like an hour is gonna get cold. So we're gonna use this. It's not really the best. It's not really the best visibility down there, but let's go have a look there. So I've been down expecting the hose there for a while now. And I must say, now the wind is picking up, so it's kind of hard. I kind of need to align this boat. So the sun is there, so I'll need to align the boat like this to actually see something. The sun's ray is lighting up the algae that's just floating around here in the water, so it's kind of impossible to see. Only time you can see if you can hold the boat in the perfect position there. It's really hard doing that and at the same time messing around with the hose, but I kind of find the best solution. So I tried poking the hose down, and that actually worked really good. It's hard with this. So yeah, I'm gonna find something, a long stick, and just keep on poking the hose down. I kind of believe that's the best way to do this. So this works rather good. So I'm just walking by the bottom now, closest to shore here. So all these things are, well, containing roots. So even though the hose is laying on the bottom here, it's kind of hard getting it down in the sediment there. So I'm just walking and jumping a little bit on this thing, and it's really sinking down. So this roots is then gonna just pass over this hose, and it's gonna kind of, well, never come up again. See how much I'm getting it down now as I jump. It's like this right now. I can't really walk much more, so I gotta just put a reminder where the hose is coming out from the shore here, and use this to keep on putting it down with the stick. Okay, so I located all the 4 hoses, stumping down quite good, as good as possible. I'm just gonna put this on last, and we're gonna make a stick. But I think I'm gonna need to wait for the wind to calm down. As it is right now, the wind is just picking up, so maybe I need to, yeah, I gotta wait for later in the day when the wind is calming down. I guess we're gonna start cleaning up the mess there, ripping some stumps and whatnot. Okay, there you can see, that's the first, second, third and fourth. They got a good distance from each other. I'm just gonna remove this rotor and gonna use the tooth bucket to just get all of the stumps out. So the main reason for taking off the rotor is that you got much more bending power without that. And then I don't like bending too much with that thing. started to get most of the stumps out there. I got another bucket for the skidster I can use for this. I'm gonna try. It's almost wind calm right now, so I gotta go back to the lake. Kind of feel like cooling off also, so I was thinking about using this. I think I could get kind of a good grip with this going up by the hose and just vibrating it down with this. Since it's not wood, this will sink. I was first thinking about just getting something woody, but nah. Let's do that. So I'm gonna tape the camera onto this and try streaming the camera so I can see what's happening, and just we're gonna try that. Well, that didn't work any good. The instant the camera hit water, I lost connection. So I just been driving forward using the goggles, looking down, and on all the spots I can see, the hose is actually sitting good. It's at the bottom. On some places it can be like this above the bottom, but I would kind of call that it's where it's supposed to be. Kind of shame the camera thing didn't work. But the thing is that the second you start touching that hose, all the sediments is like, it's like an explosion down there. You don't see anything after that. I don't know. I kind of want to call this hose thing done for now. I might look into buying some actual diving gear so you can like swim after the bottom there. The snorkel is kind of rough. You the instant you need to take air again, you move up and you don't see anything when you're going down. You lost the contact with the hose. I don't know. I'll see if I come up with something, but other than that, I would actually call this done. I'm gonna leave the buckets for now. I'm gonna remove them later. You never know if I get a brilliant idea for something. A few hours in the machines and we created ourselves a big pile there. So on this side it's kind of a lot of dirt there, but on the back side here there's more organic material. I don't think this is gonna burn that good if try lighting this on fire. I'm not really sure what to do with this yet. Thunderstorm is closing in. Hopefully it brings rain. It hasn't rained in 2 weeks here. Everything is extremely dry. Oh. That storm came faster than I expected it to be. You see those trees? Oh, it's gonna fall on the rock. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take them down now. Guess we'll see if this still stands. That thing can't really hurt anything. Maybe we'll keep that if that's still intact when I get back. Look at that fresh kebab. just curious how this would look with some stones around it. But you know, we see if this survives. There's a big risk this won't survive due to the roots being damaged, but yes, I'm kind of curious about adopting full-grown trees. Go out to the forest, dig them up and just replant them. I'm gonna need a bigger excavator for that though. With a big bucket you can really get all of the roots in one dig. So we could do that when we're starting to get finished here, so we know where they're not gonna be in the way. I always thought about doing that but never really tried. So could be a fun thing to try out, see if that survives. There's a lot of memory seeing these small pieces, so this has been used as a template, these pieces. So I just been saving this when doing the formwork for casting the driveway here. Gonna be good for that. I'm not gonna do anything more here on this side right now. The oil separator is something I'm gonna need to do. That thing is cleaning all the water, the drainage water or whatnot. If I wash something inside there, it's gonna go through a filter out all the bad stuff, so it's just clean water left. So that needs to be installed before using the drainage I have inside the garage. As it is right now, the pipes coming up out here are just plugged, so the water won't go anywhere. So one is for the oil separator, the other one is for the septic if I install a toilet. I don't think I'm gonna do the toilet part this year though, but the oil separator needs to be done. So I'm gonna go and order that. So that is gotta get dug down here somewhere. The water coming out from that, I might as well connect it here. So this is the drainage coming from the roof of the garage, and the black part is the drainage coming from around the garage, the ground. So I'm gonna connect everything here and then just make a soak away of French drain. Well, directly translated, it's a stone casket from Swedish. So one other thing about the sea heat. So sitting in the machines for a few hours here, I had some time thinking. There's one problem that could occur with the system, with the hose as it is right now. And that is that the more energy I take out of this system, the colder the liquid inside the hose is gonna get. So when the liquid goes from the machine back out to the ground, to the lake, the thing is that that liquid could be on the minus side. So here's a piece of the hose. Around the hose that transporting the liquid on the minus side is that they can be starting to collecting ice around the hose, and since ice have a lower density than water, it will produce floating power to the hose. So there's always a risk that there's a lot of ice build up and the hose is starting to float up. So I gotta do a follow-up video on this. I gotta get myself some real diving gear. I thought a snorkel would work good, but it's not really doing that. And I might do some more weights to put on this. I do actually have a 3 hours video complete with the install of everything here. Starting from me pulling the hose out in the lake just when it's about to freeze in the fall. that was not the best time to install this system, but well, we got it done anyway. I go through all the pricing for all this stuff and such. So installation cost for this is kind of expensive, but the thing with this is just that the usage cost is gonna be low. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap this up here. We're gonna do a follow-up on that soon, and also installing that. Well, there's a lot coming, so let's just... There's also a big rainstorm coming in. coming that way. It's gonna be a lot of water coming down. So the thing with messing around with dirty dry material is that, well, the cab is gonna get really dirty. So why not close the windshield? One might ask. The main reason for not doing this in the Skidster is that the resonance is really bad in this. When you got everything closed in, it's like being in a subwoofer box. You can really feel that in your head after being like driving this for 3 hours, something like that. So I'd rather just keep the door open and clean it afterwards.